Beyond the Badge is brought to you by the Edina Crime Prevention Fund.
When a person gets trapped in a trench, emergency responders need to get there as quickly as possible. Compromised trenches have a 50% chance of collapsing again, so it's vital that rescuers secure an area. Edina Paramedic-Firefighter Pete Knaeble received special training in this area and tells Edina Police Officer Beau Schoenhard how it could make a difference in saving lives. Beau?
Thank you, Brian. I'm out here today at the training facility in the city of Edina with firefighter Pete Knaeble. Pete, how you doing this morning?
Good.
Thanks for having me out today to talk about a very important issue, trench rescue training. What exactly does that entail?
We have some specialized trainings at Edina we're uniquely trained to respond to. One of them is trench rescue. So we consider a trench anything that is greater than 4 feet deep and it is deeper than it is wide. So that's something that's an easily collapsible structure, and we have people working in there all the time. Sometimes their own safety measures fail, or sometimes a contractor might be trying to hurry on to the next job and they didn't quite put in a trench box or what they should have. And so we often get called for rescues where the trench collapsed or someone's having a medical problem in the trench.
So you mentioned trench box. So you have a similar item here that looks like a temporary equipment to hold the walls of the trench that you guys are working in. But a trench box, as my understanding is, it's that big metal device that they drop into a trench. Kind of looks like a big metal H, is that correct?
That's exactly right. You see them all the time when you're driving down the road and you see road crews working, laying a sewer line or something. It's that big thing with two metal sides with the post going across, and they'll use an excavator or something to lower it down in, and that's what protects them from the walls of the trench. If for some reason they didn't put it in and the walls collapsed on them or something like that, then we have to come in and help them out. So we don't carry a trench box. It's too pre-made and made for an exact size of trench. If we get called out, obviously something went wrong and the trench doesn't probably look as nice as it should. So what we do is we build our own from scratch, uniquely shaped to what that trench looks like. So as you can see behind us, we're currently building a trench box around our victim. And then we'll shoot struts across.
Prepare to shoot.
Mark, are you connected?
Air's on.
Good. Perfect.
Yeah, we're good. Go ahead and shoot easy.
That'll hold the walls back so we can safely send a rescuer in to excavate that victim out and to remove him from the hole.
Okay, you guys got him. He's all yours. I can't do anything more from here. We'll get it.
So you mentioned a certain dimension as far as depth and width, but what if it's smaller than that? What do you guys do?
So if it's smaller than that, we consider it as safe. If it's only 2 feet deep, we're not worried about the sides collapsing in. If it is wider than it is deep, that's basically just, we consider it a big hole.
So a large flat surface.
Exactly, and we can simply walk down into there, we can throw ladders down into there, whatever it might be to go help rescue that person. But we're not, if that angle then would be less than 45 degrees, we're considering that a slope that we can work on and that we're not in danger of collapsing in on us.
So your trench rescue training today that you're doing is part of a larger program that you guys have, and we're very unique in Edina with our training for the fire department. What group is that a part of that you guys are training with?
So the team that we're training with today is our in-house special operations team. That means we have a select group of our full-time paramedic firefighters at Edina that are part of our own special operations team, uniquely trained to handle some unique situations such as rope rescue, confined space, structure collapse, and then trench rescue. Some of us on that special operations team have chosen to be part of Minnesota Task Force 1. That's a state asset that does those same specialized trainings. There's 5 state assets. It's us, Minneapolis Fire, St. Paul Fire, Rochester Fire, and then Dakota County. So the state relies on those 5 to come together as a team if we had to respond for any of those unique incidents.
So a great asset and group for the city of Edina and the Edina Fire Department.
It's something we're hugely proud of. We are extremely highly trained in those areas. It's something that our citizens have in-house, full-time people ready to respond to. We often get called for mutual aid to our neighboring cities. Anywhere from, we've been called to tree trimmers that had medical problems while they're up on their ropes, and those local fire departments aren't equipped to handle it, so we'll get called to workers stuck on a water tower. We've been doing rescues like that. Whether it's a structure collapse or a trench rescue or someone trapped in a confined space, those are things our neighbors would call for our expertise on, and it's nice that we have it right in-house and we're trained.
Pete, thank you very much for talking to me today about very important training that you guys are doing here in the city of Edina.
Thanks for coming out.
Brian, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Beau.